Thank you. Oops. Did I not do it?
Nope. People are looking
I can hear it
right now.
even if other people can't hear it, I can hear it. That's what matters. Right?
No, I'm not hearing anything from my end.
Okay, my apologies. My apologies.
Skin to a whole door. He came bringing Polly oh, one sing high and the other sing low, and the other sing a ring a tingle dip seal. He was upstairs to Cecily went, and on a suit of leather, oh, there was a grave around the door. She's away with the ring a tingle dip seal. It was late the night when the Lord came in, inquiring for his lady, oh, and his big price as a servant girl. She's away with the ring a tingle dip seal.
Fun.
Yes, that was the Ra Pali. They are a Celtic group. Be sure and check out all their great music and all their videos. And special shout out to them for doing such a great job at Ragatagle Gypsy. Yeah. You know, it's one of the songs I'm learning on the violin.
Yeah.
So I know how hard it is. And
one of our wonderful audience members said, one day, Whimsy, you shall play this. Whimsy.
I could grab the violin and show you my version, but I think we're going to wait. Okay. But let me warm up, and maybe next week or the following week I'll do my version of, which is much more mournful, and it sounds more like a funeral march. But I think everything I play, it's something dying somewhere in a bar.
You're too hard on yourself.
I don't know. Oh my gosh. I woke up with the driest eyes because I have not had any omegas in my any omegas in my diet.
And also primrose oil, very important for keeping eyes moist.
Yeah. So I took
your omega-10 also.
I took something like 5 teaspoons, excuse me, 5 teaspoons of fish oil. I took a tablespoon, and then before we went online, I took another 2 teaspoons because it always happens when I don't have enough omega-3s. I went to a doctor, and they when your eye fluids get to be too runny, they don't have enough oils in them. It's usually because you're not you're not eating enough fish.
That makes a lot of sense. Well, Whimsy, do you feel it specifically has to be fish? Could it be plant sources of omega, or it needs to definitely be fish oil?
You have to do a lot more. You have to do a lot more if you're going to do the fit plant, because the conversion rate from ALA to DHA and EPA is your body has to be able to convert it. So that can sometimes be a challenge. So it means having to do more of the fish oils.
Physician,
more of the oil.
Thyself. You know what to do.
So while I get a tissue, my eyes are running. Why don't you go ahead and say hi to everyone here?
I will say hi to everyone here. Let me put these on. Helps me. We have our wonderful Brenda Rakestraw, our floor director, Joel Tilson. We're very grateful to you, Joel, as always. Vandyland, Gigi Pardo Lord, Terry Gallant, the Sybil, Intuitive Kathy, Rockin' Pony Lady. I love that name, Rockin' Pony Lady. Let's see here. I'm scrolling past some repetition here. Tavi, Never Too Late to Dream. I most definitely agree with that one. Aileen Levin. I hope I said your first name correctly there. Jenna Duckworth, Wendy Burt, your wonderful hat creator there. Let's see, Renee Ament, Jess Marie, Dion Pryor 9, Desiree, Queenie the Genie.
Queenie the Genie, hello.
Hello, Genie. I'm sorry I don't have my Genie bottle here. I have a replica Genie bottle autographed by Barbara Eaton.
I am Genie. I think my personality is just so much.
I think I'm more like Endora. But anyway, Dr. Bombay, I don't know. Brenda Rakestraw, did I say that? Emergency, come right away. M and Dylan, Kimberly, trying not to reread names here. Red Rose, John Gerald, Eleanor Wittering, Ms. Sharon, Miss Annie, Joanne Corbett, Tina.
Well, we can keep saying hi to people as we go.
Sure we can.
How has your week been? Here. Happy Tuesday, Chuck. Happy Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday. How has my week been going? I'm still in my big organizational kick in my apartment. And it's just astounding how disorganized one has to become organized. I had this one closet. I thought, well, this will be simple. I'm just going to pull all the crap out and start organizing it, donate, throw away, what have you. You can't see it in this camera range. If I turned this laptop around, you would go, there is so much clutter and chaos in my living room right now, but it's going to be good. It's going to be good, but that's where I am right now.
Oh, wow. And have you had a chance yet to take a look at our book? We, of course,
yes, I have.
I keep forgetting that my sidekick is a psychic. We have a new book of the month. And of course, the author, Adam Gabriel Steinmetz, will be in our studios November 4th, I believe is the date.
Is that next week?
Is it next week?
Is it? Let's see.
I think he's in our studio next week, my love.
I think so. Let me check my calendar.
Do you feel like we just got it? I think we just got this book, but no, we got it 3 weeks ago.
Golly gosh, gee, according to my calendar, it is next week.
All right.
That's how busy I've been. I just lose track.
Who here is a member of our book club? Chuck and I started a book club like 3 years ago. When did we start this club, Chuck? 2.5, 3 years ago?
2.5, 3 years ago. And we've loved it. I have every single book still from each month, and each one is a treasure. You've chosen so well each time.
Oh, yeah. So for those of you who are writers, if you're an independent writer and you would like to have your work be showcased on our Book of the Month Club, we accept independent writers. We're looking for morally uplifting stories, science fiction we love, fantasy we love, but it has to be, a positive message. We don't want to put
Yeah.
up. We've done a little bit of serial killing, but we
We have.
yeah, I think one of our early books, but
I think so.
yeah. So,
Right,
but
yeah.
we would like to be able to move towards, mostly spiritual. So if you have a book and you'd like to send it to send it to 1819 Southwest Fifth Avenue, Portland, Oregon 97201. That's 97201, and that's care of Dr. Whimsy Anderson, ND. And this is the story of the fall of Atlantis. How are you liking it so far?
So far, I'm enjoying it. As you can see, it's quite dog-eared right now. I've been carrying it around with me, just sneaking a few pages here and there.
What do you think about? I'm sorry to interrupt you.
Oh no, you didn't interrupt me. It's okay.
So, how do you feel about the basic premise of the book? This idea that maybe we existed in another time, or that there was another way of being as humans, and we've forgotten it. Have we forgotten our magic? What do you people think? Have we forgotten our magic?
I completely agree with that. I was having this conversation with someone just over the weekend. Like, why do we incarnate and then forget everything? It's like our memory banks just get erased and cleared. And the best I can determine, it's because we have lessons to learn still, and we couldn't learn as effectively if we still had those memories. We have to experience it like it's all new again. I mean, I don't know how you feel about it, Whimsy.
There is this idea in Kabbalah that the world has been created and destroyed countless times. So are we continually making the same mistakes over and over and over again? And then, of course, the question is, what are we doing wrong that we have we have played this out so many times, that the earth has been created and destroyed? Now they say that we've increased our odds of a nuclear attack, that again we could wind up taking ourselves out, and then we must start this experiment of raising this world. The purpose from a Kabbalistic perspective is that the actual vibration of this world, which is called Olam Hazeh, should become the same vibration as Olam Haba, which is the world to come, which is the world we enter into when we're free of our bodies. So that we've raised this vibration of this earth so much, then we continue on as bodhisattvas of the earth in the Buddhist tradition, and we come up to another incarnation in another world, another planet, and we continue with this vow we make as bodhisattvas of the earth, or in the Jewish tradition, Klal Yisrael. Right, this idea that the people that were meant to see the Torah stood on Har Sinai, and it was 600,000 souls, but there are more bodies than souls. So for all we know, every human being alive today is part of that 600,000 souls that stood and received the Torah, the Enlightenment at that time. So it's this mystical idea that we must return back to the garden, that the on his journey returns back to the garden.
Yeah, I liked what you said about this experiment that we have to keep repeating, because that's what's being used right now with our American democracy, the quote unquote experiment of American democracy. Is it going to survive or not? And you just made me think of that when you said that. But
I thought you said American debauchery.
Did I?
American democracy has become
American. Did I say debauchery? I don't think I did.
No, but I heard debauchery. I thought I was hearing debauchery.
Well, that might apply right now, but anyway, I meant democracy.
Oh my goodness!
But the fact that being referred to as an experiment after 250 years, is it 250 years or 249 years?
I think so. Yeah. All right. For those people who don't know, we are currently on hurricane alert on the East Coast. And of course, we're praying for Jamaica as Hurricane Melissa hits. Of course, Hurricane Melissa is now, I believe, a Category 5. This is the recent update that's just come out from CNN. I believe it was Yeah, it was like 20 minutes ago.
Because I saw earlier today, it was a category 5. They downgraded it to a 4, but this is the most recent, so maybe it's regained strength.
It's now centered off the northern coast of Jamaica after barreling ashore as one of the strongest Atlantic hurricanes. Melissa is a powerful category 3 hurricane. So when, I think it starts to break up when it gets close to land, and that's why it often will go from category 5 when it has nothing obstructing it. Yeah. When it's just to go in. You were going to say something, please.
Well, I was just going to say, because Jamaica is it's an island, a small island surrounded by ocean. If the hurricane is that large, and I saw that the eye passed over Jamaica, so that would mean the main part of the hurricane is still out in the water, and by that reckoning, I would guess it would gain strength. And I know they said that from here it's headed straight toward Cuba.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's not over by a long shot.
Look at that direct hit right on top of Jamaica. Can you believe that imagery?
Yeah. It's so tragic. So tragic. And I understand that many of their structures there are not built to withstand a hurricane of this force.
Yeah, and I think that just today when we do our prayers, absolutely. YouTube user. Oh, do you not have a name? YouTube user? I've never seen that before, where it just says YouTube user as an identity.
YouTube user, I don't see that.
Yeah.
Oh, I do see it here.
It's kind of interesting. I've never seen that before.
No, I haven't either. Maybe it's a way of protecting your anonymity, a new feature they have.
Yeah. So let's go on to the next subject that everybody cannot stop talking about, and that's Trump getting an MRI.
Yes.
As many of you know, we did a remote view a couple of months ago that showed that Trump could be pushed out of the White House as early as December of 2025. Now, I'm not one of the people that predicted he was going to die, but I did predict that he could be pushed out of the White House, possibly because of his medical problems. So here's what we know for sure, and Chuck and I are registered healthcare providers, so it might be fun to get some of our feedback, but we do know that he has chronic venous insufficiency. Sometimes that can be secondary to, it can be a weakening or collapsing of the venous system. But it can also be a sign of congestive heart failure. Now he's had an MRI, and MRIs are typically done. If they had suspected that he had a stroke, for example, they might have taken him in for an MRI. What's interesting is that the MRI was conducted right around the same time that they also conducted a cognitive test, and that's the 30 question exam.
Yeah.
I've actually given that exam to some of my clients, and let me tell you, when a client is stoned, they will not pass that test. I found that out by trying to give stoned people working in public health. And it's like, where are we, man? It's like,
my God.
One of the questions are, which hemisphere are you in, the northern or the southern? And
I'm just the thought of somebody showing up stoned for a cognitive test. I mean,
well, it was a drug rehabilitation center, and the doctors would come in and give exams. And one of the things we had to do is cognitive test. But I felt like when I got to that question, for example, some of the people did not speak English as their first language, or they didn't have a great education. One of the people I gave a cognitive test was a Latino kid. He was in his 20s. Didn't speak English very well, and he was like, he had no idea southern northern hemisphere. What the hell is this, man?
So unfair.
I picked tomatoes for a living. I don't know. I headed north. You gave me a job,
Right.
There
needs to be a more adaptable test.
Right. Like so he was not cognitive. So in that case, the guy was not cognitively impaired. He just didn't understand the English.
Yeah.
So he got a 28 on. We gave him a 28 out of 30, but we made a note that English was not his primary language.
Yeah. Now, I have never actually seen the cognitive test myself, but it's always been my understanding that it mainly will indicate if you've had a brain injury, you're suffering from dementia, Alzheimer's, but it doesn't go far beyond that. Now, Whimsy, since you have administered these, do you agree with that?
We know you can't answer the question, but we don't know why you can't answer the question. In the case of the young 20-something Latino guy, he came with his girlfriend, and I think he was getting his visa, and so he just had to have his exam. But for whatever reason, they chose to give him a cognitive exam, and he got a 28, which is still acceptable. But there were questions he couldn't answer because either number one, he didn't have the education, or number two, he didn't understand the language. And so but in a man where English is his primary language and he's had a high school education, he should be able to know he's in the Northern Hemisphere. Certainly. He should know who the president. What is the date today? Do you have the date? Do you know where you're at? You can start very basically. Do you know who you are? These are questions after you suspect someone's had an incident.
Right. Fairly simple question.
What is your name? Who are you? Where are you? Who are you? Where are you? Yeah. Those are some of the basic things we'll ask.
Because I know it was pointed out, I think it was David Pakman who wrote about this. Trump, in typical Trump fashion, was bragging about how he aced the cognitive test. And I believe it was David Pakman who said, it's not that remarkable of a test to pass. If you are competent, it would just basically prove your competency. Like you said, like, what's your name? What's the date? What hemisphere you're living in?
Yeah, so it does, so usually it'll start small. Like one time a guy had a stroke, he was a senior, and we said, what's your name? He said, Joe. Okay, Joe. Joe what? My name's Joe. Like he took a minute, I'm Joe. And Joe, where are you? Where are you right now? And you're checking their eyes. You're seeing if and he said, I'm here. It was like, okay, I'd like to order imaging for this client because here for me is not a valid answer.
Right.
Yeah.
You are actually bringing back some memories because it was over 30 years ago. A very dear friend of mine suffered a near catastrophic stroke. And for 2 or 3 months, I now am remembering this. They would check him periodically with questions like that. And he would be just in a daze or give an answer like, I'm here, something like that. I'm remembering that now.
And certain medications and drug addiction, drug addicts. I think this might be one of the reasons we were giving cognitive, because we did a lot of drug testing, but
even prescription drugs.
Well, sure, if it's a benzo or a barbiturate or something like that.
Because I just remember my late mother, near the end of her life. She was, I don't know what medication she was on, but she was obviously way over medicated. And she was showing signs of dementia that my sister and I were convinced were being caused by these prescription drugs she was on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's called obtunded. That's one of the cool words you learn when you go to medical school is obtunded. And a lot of the time what we find with seniors is that they're simply over medicated, and we have to start reducing the medications, particularly medications that can have a cognitive influence. But so it will get increasingly more difficult. What day of the week is it? It's Tuesday. This is one I'm losing. Like sometimes I forget to pay Chuck.
or today, are we doing the author interview next week? Is November 4th next week?
Well, Chuck's payday.
We would have flunked that.
Tuesday is Chuck's payday, and I always seem to forget it. No, I've only done it 2 or 3 times.
Well, more, but no.
Seriously, I've done it more than that. I'm sorry.
No, it's no big deal.
Send me a bill.
I trust you. I trust you. I never worry about things like that.
Yeah, I'm caught up. But and then date. The date. We ask you the date. So
I would have flunked that today.
I don't. October 28th, 2025.
Yeah.
It's a Tuesday. What's the time? It's approximately 5:26.
Well, that's because I can look at my clock at every corner of my laptop here. But
okay. And who's the president of the United States?
Well, grudgingly, I have to say Donald Trump. Grudgingly and regrettably, but
yeah. And which hemisphere are you in?
The Northern Hemisphere.
That's right.
Yes.
And then there's some physical exams. We'll have you walk a straight line. We do look for that.
Yes, I could do
that. Excuse me. We might check your reflexes. That's always fun.
Yeah. Take that little mallet and
Yeah, let's see what people are saying here.
What are people saying here? Beautiful here in Western Massachusetts. MAS Massachusetts. Think for once we are heading into good snowy winter. Yeah, I love that region. I have a niece who lives in Boston, and I love to go there in the wintertime. Minus 17 degrees or whatever. Oh, this is so sweet, Queenie the Genie. You guys are so fun. We need some fun these days. Yes, we do. We're here to give it to you. Joel Tilson, Benzo Trump.
You want to talk about that?
Benzo Trump. Well,
we just talked about cognitive decline and drug use. What are you thinking?
Well, I'm thinking, he's obviously on a number of prescription medications, but then there's these other medications he's been known for, like cocaine, crystal meth, what have you. Now, granted, that's not proven, but
amphetamines,
and
benzos.
So I don't know if Whimsy, if you in your remote viewing get the feeling that he's just doing all of this still, because he's such a reckless man. He's reckless with his diet, the McDonald's, his 3:30 in the morning tweets, yeah.
I think that what happened was that he had a series of incidents. I think that I put myself in the shoes of being a member of his cabinet. Mm-hmm. I thought about America and my duty to America as a member of the cabinet, mm-hmm. and the fact that it is ultimately on us if we are to declare Article 25 that he is unfit to serve, and that if we're being put in that situation, then he needs to go to a cognitive exam, and we need to see what the doctors are saying, because people are talking, because we're seeing evidence that's got us concerned as the cabinet. And so, in addition to him having to get the okay now to fly, a senior with this type of medical condition, he might not be allowed even on a commercial air flight. You know that, right? On a flight.
Right.
So it's really up to the airlines. But somebody with this type of advanced edema, possibly congestive heart failure, at risk for a deep venous thrombosis, I don't know if I wouldn't want him on my plane. And so on the one hand, he's probably getting the okay to fly, mm-hmm. but there's this other aspect that makes me think about the remote viewings I've done in the past on his cabinet, wanting to see those medical records.
Exactly. I would even speculate that he has a medical team traveling with him on Air Force One. And I think I could be wrong on this, but I think Air Force One even has a makeshift operating room on board. A lot of these are provisions that came out after John Kennedy's assassination. So that's a possibility why he's able to travel. But how I said to you, I kept getting hits that this was going to be like an inside job, like his own people were going to turn on him, throw him under the bus. And so interesting, because his cabinet, by his own design, was filled with Trump loyalists, or at least people he believed were loyal to him. Now it's looking like certainly at least one, probably several cabinet members are going to be the ones who throw him under the bus.
That's, I believe, what's happening. And I believe that was the reason for the exam. And I believe that the results of that exam and any future exams is going to be evidence against Trump should his cabinet decide to kick him out. Mm-hmm. Where do you think we're headed, Chuck?
Well, I said a long time ago that I was getting the hit that we're going to be slowly eased into this, like prepared for his eventual resignation, shall we say, in the end of December for health reasons. We're going to start getting these medical reports fed to us where his health is just steadily declining more and more. It's like being fed to us in piecemeal, but he's having an unusual amount of medical examinations, it seems. And these are being made public. Now they're being kind of vague still, but I'm wondering as we get closer to the end if they're going to get worse and worse. And that's going to give him the perfect, dignified excuse to resign for health reasons.
I think I'm agreeing with you. You know what I think we should do, folks? I think that we should do the empath prayer and start getting to some of these interesting questions that everybody has. Joel Tilson also asked, you think that his medical records will ever be disclosed? I think they're being disclosed to his cabinet. What do you think?
I think to his cabinet, yes. I'm sure certain people are being privy to these medical records. Even the one in April, the one that we thought was so unusual because it revealed more than any other health examination previously had. It even said that he was obese. That was big. To say he was obese, he had never admitted to that. But it said that was even ambiguous how much was being revealed to us. So, but I'm sure there are people. Do you think people like Mike Johnson, he may be privy to these records? The cabinet may be privy.
Yeah, I think I think if
J.D.
you're
Vance,
cabinet,
I'm sure knows.
Right. I think if you're a member of his cabinet, you need to see that stuff because the buck stops with them if they have to remove this guy.
And also, we have speculated that plans are already under the way for J.D. Vance to assume the presidency.
Yes, absolutely.
So I'm sure that's part of it also.
And if he is trying to get reelected and wants an easy primary, then he needs to already be serving for at least 1.5 years in the White House.
Certainly.
If he just goes in for the last 2 months, how much confidence do the Republicans have in J.D. Vance? Well, if he is going to fulfill their Project 2025, then they're going to want to keep him in there. So how do they keep? Look, the project is more important than the man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Ultimately, just another figurehead, another puppet.
Yeah. All right. So if you or someone you love would like to receive a healing at this time, please give us your name or the person you want us to pray for, and we will include them in our prayers today. And then after that, when we get the order, we will blitz away, and Chuck and I will happily get to all of your questions. So that's what we've got going on here. Ready? Are you ready there? All right, let's go ahead. We're going to do the impasse prayer, and thanks for being here, everyone.
Thank you.
Okay. I want to call on white light protection for myself and this community as we ask permission from Spirit to access the Akashic records. We call on our spirit guides and our good angels to be with us. Please give us the clarity and the wisdom that is needed to empower all of us on our journeys to make the best decisions for ourselves, our families, the planet, the people we love, but also to help those that we may have strife with. And together collectively as a community, we say Amen. And for those people today who are requesting a healing, we come together at this time and we pray. We pray that you and those you love receive a perfect healing in mind, body, and in spirit. And together again, we say, Amen, Amen, Amen. May all souls be healed.
May all souls be healed.
May all souls be healed. Wow, Chuck, are you feeling okay? Are you feeling like what is there any hope for us? Should we be upset? I mean,
well, that's a multi-part question. I am an eternal optimist. So yes, I do believe there's hope for us. But yes, it is upsetting times to be in right now. There's no question about that. Just to prepare for the show, I spend the day going through news stories. And as of late, it's like, oh my God. I'm sure most of us are like that when we watch the evening news or something. Yeah.
What is Kimberly saying here?
Kimberly say on several channels, they were showing the most recent cabinet meeting. One camera was fixed for a long time on Hegseth, and the look on his face, he knows what's up. I didn't see that, but I wouldn't doubt that. Yeah.
Well, why don't you go ahead? I'm going to go and grab a quick, I've just got to get myself another cup of this delicious tea I'm drinking.
Can I have some?
Yeah, it's mixed carminatives in PG Tips, but I added a bunch of carminatives like ginger. And so why don't you go ahead and talk to the audience about that? What's your feeling about Hegseth?
The audience. Well, I wish I had seen that footage, but it certainly doesn't surprise me. I think everybody on the cabinet knows what's going on right now. They're just waiting for shall we say, the shoe to drop. They're paving the way for J.D. Vance's presidency, and a lot of them are probably bowing down to him. You're like, oh, pick me, let me stay on your cabinet, There's probably a lot of competition going on between them, but you'd have to be an absolute imbecile not to know what's really going on. And as we were just saying earlier, I'm sure most of the cabinet has had access to all of the medical records. It's very obvious, and you pointed this out yourself, Whimsy, on your shows, that Trump's cognitive decline is so apparent. It was like when he was speaking in Japan. Was it yesterday he was in Japan, or today? But he was just rambling all over the place, and the people in the audience were like, what? And he's been doing that more and more and more. It's just very obvious this man is in mental decline.
Wow, that is just absolutely insane. And do you think that the Republicans are upset about what has happened to the White House? Because I feel like I'm having a nightmare that a bulldozer came and took down the White House. I mean,
yeah, it was so abrupt. I mean, as we were talking before the show, this was obviously being planned for the ballroom, but the fact that it was done so abruptly. And I was watching Heather Cox Richardson. I trust her, what she has to say. She said it was her own theory. This was like a spontaneous temper tantrum because of the No Kings rally the day before. It's like, well, I'm going to take a wrecking ball and tear down something that's important to you, and get back at the people. It was almost like that kind of vengeance, because we know what a childish, petulant little man Trump actually is. I even talked with you for the show. I was concerned about artifacts and things because there wasn't any evidence, like moving vans or anything, taking the paintings and sculptures out of the East Wing. And it was also brought up on her show. I know you. I'll let you say in a second. But Heather was saying that normally you would have curators, carefully removing those things and packing them. It's not like we would just take bubble wrap and stick them in cardboard cartons. But you said you did a remote. You were telling me. I think people would like to hear this.
So, when I did the remote, when I was underneath, because a few years ago, I had gone to the White House and I had attempted to go to to see what was going on. And what I found underneath the White House was shaped like an H. Mm-hmm. So this is the White House underneath. That is what the underneath of the White House looks like. Mm-hmm. So like it's an H, mm-hmm. right? So this is the front. And this is the area that they're tearing down. This is where the X is. Mm-hmm. So what they can do is that, remember I said you have to go around the corner to get to the Christmas trees? Christmas time is here. And then there's a sign that says bunker this way. There's a nuclear sign right about here I saw directing people downstairs. Yeah. So, and then the kitchen is over here. That's what it looked like to me. So that's a long runway. Look at that. All the way from the kitchen all the way over. Right. The kitchen to the storage area. So you have a storage area there. So when I landed originally, the roses I think are over here. I tried getting in. I just wound up in the kitchens, and then I walked down and I found, this is some storage bins. This looks like old Navy filing cabinets are over here.
We theorized late 30s, early 40s.
Yeah. And then when I opened up some of those old cabinets, I found like stuff that first ladies had saved that meant absolutely nothing, that weren't important enough to be preserved. It was like little napkins that said, "We love you, Lady Bird." Oh, that's so sweet. Or somebody had made their own doily, "We love Lady Bird," with a little bird. Mm-hmm. So that was important to her. So she saved it. So those sorts of things wound up filed with the first ladies, and some of it just stayed there. And then in this back area, that's where the Christmas trees and the old Easter stuff. And you can go down there if you're on the East Wing and you're one of the first ladies. You can step down there and say, "Can I use any of this for the following Christmas?" So this was historically what people like Jacqueline Kennedy and Barbara Bush Jr. did this a lot, is that they would go down to this area where they would store the old holiday stuff, and they would take out like a bird nest that was collected from 1934 and put that on the tree. And I just thought that was so lovely.
I love that. And, going way back, all the gifts that have been sent to the president and first lady, didn't you say like a lot of Christmassy things were sent like
handmade, particularly during the Depression. So that stuff was saved and stored, and with which first lady, which year, with notes, handmade, like pine cone dressings for the trees. So theoretically, you could come down and you could recycle, and that's in fact what Bush Jr.'s wife was really into this.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, what was her name?
No,
not Barbara. But Barbara probably.
Oh, this is bad. We would fail our cognitive test right now. I want to say Jenna, but I think Jenna's the daughter. Laura Bush.
Yeah, so Laura would love this sort of thing. She loved all of that,
especially. You know what I rewatched last night? You know, the 1962 special that Jacqueline Kennedy did from the White House, where she gave a tour of the restoration and explained how it was done. I loved it. It's an hour-long special. I think it was originally aired live on all three networks.
Was she wearing a yellow dress? Because I think I've seen that.
No, she was wearing a red dress. Dress with pearls. But it's on YouTube, and I looked it up. She's the only first lady to ever win an Emmy Award. She was given an Emmy for that special. And she's just fabulous, giving a tour and explaining the history of all the pieces. And she was very much about preservation, like you were just saying, about let's use what we already have, and also what can we reacquire that was once in the White House. So
some stuff gets shipped at another location, but a lot of stuff is kept right there in the basement of the East Wing, and they can be escorted by security and people to go down into that area and decide what they want to use for that when they plan the holidays.
Yeah.
So some of that stuff is repurposed, and I think it's wonderful. I would probably recycle all of it.
Yeah. I love this comment from Eleanor Wittering. Chuck, I watched that too last night. We might have been watching it at the same time. I watched it about 10 p.m. here on Pacific time last night. But it was so good. I highly recommend it. Putin using nuclear-powered cruise missiles in Ukraine today and crowing about it. Didn't know that. I knew that the Ukraine had been attacking Russia, but I didn't realize that Putin was using nuclear-powered cruise missiles in Ukraine today. Oh, I missed that in the news. Were you aware of that, Whimsy?
Well, I know that according to Grok and ChatGPT and a couple of other computers I've used, the greatest threat to global safety is Vladimir Putin.
Yes, I remember you saying that.
So we have always said that we cannot get to peace globally until he's removed, because he's basically a thug and a criminal.
Oh, yeah.
So
not like our president, thug and a criminal.
We have some stopgaps. We do have the courts still somewhat holding.
Yeah,
curb him to some extent.
I was just going to say the only thing I found today in my own news research was the Ukraine used drones to strike deeply into Russia, and they hit bomber aircraft and air bases. And there were satellite images overhead that proved that this did actually happen. But I didn't see that about Putin. Maybe that's even in retaliation.
Yeah, I don't know. It's one of those things where you never know what's going on. Also in the news, it looks like Gaza has broken the ceasefire.
Yeah.
But it's also been announced by Israel that they will start the rebuild in the B zone now. You want to talk about that? Any surprises there?
No surprises about the rebuild, because it looks like they're following your plan, Whimsy.
Gee,
where did they get your plans?
Should we talk about it? So basically what happened was there was a meeting in the Knesset. I sent a meeting to the Knesset saying we have to integrate, et cetera, but a lot of people have felt this way. But I think I sent you that copy. Did I send you a copy of that article?
You did send me a copy of it.
Okay, yeah. So what I was thinking, I was feeling like Sacha Baron Cohen when he got Best Comedian for Borat, where he said, "I went through all that hell. I'd better get an award." You better bloody give me an award after what I've been through.
I've met him a few times. I don't know if you ever met him in the store. Sacha Baron Cohen.
I don't think I did.
It's very interesting because I was having this discussion recently about some celebrities are exactly what you expect them to be, like Dolly Parton, Angela Lansbury. But Sacha Baron Cohen, we know his image as Borat and so forth. In person, he's a very soft-spoken English gentleman, very proper. I was surprised by that.
Yeah. The accent throws you off, I bet.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it does.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to get off track there.
No, but did you see his acceptance? Because he went through so much stuff in the making of that film. Like he had so I thought it was kind of funny when he said, "You better bloody well give me an award." After I was like, he got arrested a couple of times or something like that, I think.
Oh, I think so too. I can't remember all the specifics.
Yeah, so let me see if I can. So that's basically the feeling is that it was never going to hold anyway. And so
yeah, I was getting that image. I remember I said I was envisioning very delicate crystal goblets on a platter, and if one fell, they were all going to shatter. Like I could just see it being extremely, extremely delicate and fragile. I think you were even getting in your readings that it was probably not going to hold.
Yeah, I'm having a real hard time. Say hi to the audience. I'm trying to
say hi to the audience.
Talk to them while I try.
Talk amongst yourself. I'll give you a topic. Let's see. Red Rose, Kathleen Davis, Gloria. Let me go back.
Oh, here it is.
Oh, Contessa E. Jordan, Patricia. Yes, you ready, Whimsy?
Well, no, I'm getting there.
We're getting there. Okay. Sally Joe, Debbie. Hello to all of you.
I can't open something, which is really kind of annoying.
I mentioned Eleanor. We both watched the Jackie Kennedy special last night.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So, I was talking about the 1962 White House tour that
she had seen it all for. I think I saw it being advertised or something like that.
Yeah, well, it's on YouTube. It's well worth watching. But anyway, Eleanor was watching it last night also, as I was.
Yeah. So what you're seeing here is a map. And what you see on the left is what the IDF has done so far. And the yellow line is what's separating Gaza from the parts that Israel has control over right now. And that is the part where they're now talking about the rebuild. Mm-hmm. Now, part of that is something that's called the B zone or no man's land, where nobody was ever allowed to live there because it was something like 2-mile stretch so that they couldn't fire rockets on Israelis and because of Hamas. So it was the Hamas barrier. So that is what you are looking at the left. That is the current positioning. And those dots are the different kibbutzes and neighborhoods that were attacked during October 7th. But that yellow line and then the outer rim, right? So to the right, that is the current situation we find ourselves in Israel and Gaza. And then to the right, you're looking at the map that I wrote based on remote viewing. How did I do?
Did damn good. You did something with integrity and expertise and love. Yeah, you have a lot to be proud of.
You can see the security border goes straight up, and you can see that yellow line on the left side there. It should be visual to everybody how far up we have to go. And that's because what we're trying to do is we're actually trying to help the good Gazan people once we get away from these fruitcake terrorists that have destroyed the land for the innocent people of Gaza. But you can see that yellow line has to go all the way up because that's the Rafah gate. And you can see here on my side, I said I wanted security all the way up.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see the outer perimeter is where we will build the new oasis for the people of Gaza. So we're building you heaven on earth. Well, this is not for Hamas, the terrorists that did bad things to the Jewish people on October 7th. This is for the good people who want peace with Israel. We want to give you a great life. And so this is something that we're building. I believe in it. I believe in Oasis One. And I believe that I did damn good.
Yes, you did. You did. And people recognize you for that, Whimsy.
Oh my God, I can't believe how far we've come on that project.
Mm-hmm. I like what you said about building a heaven on earth in an area that was once hell on earth.
Yeah, I want the children of Gaza to live in that oasis and have beautiful lives. And it looks like I'm getting my wish.
Well, that's part of your legacy, Whimsy.
It is. It is
my
legacy. Yeah, I did one thing right in this world, right?
You've done a lot of
Certainly
things,
wasn't my marriage. Okay. Canada has canceled their F-35 contract with the U.S. over trade tariffs, going instead with Sweden's. Remember what we had talked about, Sweden air coming into Ukraine and that they would be part of the NATO and that eventually they would be entering the Ukraine war through their jets. Any feedback about that,
Well,
Chuck?
I had always thought Sweden was a country of neutrality, but apparently that's not the case. And Sweden is part of NATO, right?
Now, and Finland too. They became in 2024.
They became. Maybe they were once countries of neutrality. But that's just so interesting about Canada. And I bet you a lot of that is stemming from Trump. Again, he threw a temper tantrum because they ran that commercial, that old speech from Ronald Reagan denouncing tariffs as being wrong and destructive. Well, Trump just, he threw a tantrum at Canada and imposed all these tariffs. And now look what's happening. It's just ricocheting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Is Russia's military openly planning a coup against Putin? Let's throw some cards on that.
That's a good question.
Let's see what the cards are on that.
Okay.
Good to see you here. If you could like, share, and subscribe, we'd be eternally grateful. Ooh. Never underestimate the power of remote viewing. That's kind of the message I have for everybody. If you can step aside and put your emotions aside and just be able to look at a problem objectively, here is my grid on the right. That's the future I saw, how we would have to construct it. And this is how far we've gotten.
It's the Russian military.
That's the power of remote viewing.
Well, okay. Yeah, sorry, I was focusing on this right here. I wasn't entirely listening to you there, but
just stroking my ego.
Okay, I didn't want you to think I was disregarding it. It's just I needed to focus here as I was pulling cards out, but I also ended it because I was getting things kind of describing circumstances that certainly seems likely, but I just flat out asked it as a yes or no at the pendulum. I got a strong yes on that. Is the Russian military openly planning a coup? But then I was getting cards like, there's competition. It's about the purpose. In this case, I think it's about higher purpose. There's survival. There's obviously a lot of shame and deceit, and it's going to lead to new beginnings. But that was too vague, so that's why I went to the pendulum. Got yes. So what did you get with your cards, Whimsy?
Oh, that's so cool. That's what I saw. So here's the Emperor. Here's Putin.
Yeah.
True love. Going back to true love. Hopes and fears. Serious. Somebody that is known that they respect. Here's his replacement, the King of Cups. So it kind of mirrors what you said, but
his own people turning against him, much like with Trump, his own people turning against him as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, God, that's a question. Is the U.S. budget going to be passed by Friday by the Senate?
Wait a minute. Is it up to the Senate?
Let me think here. I think it's up to the Senate because they've got to get that 60 vote majority to get anything through, and they don't have that yet because they don't have enough Democrats. I think I could be very wrong on this, but I think it's 8 Democrats that are needed to go over so that this can go through, and then they can take a vote to put through the budget that they have. That's obviously the one that the Republicans want to put through.
But doesn't that budget put us like 37 trillion in debt?
Oh yeah, at least. It's in plus. The Democrats are fighting so hard for the tax subsidies, to protect affordable health care. That's going to be gone.
Unbelievable.
It's just disastrous. It's just disastrous. And I'm constantly struck by the cruelty behind all of this. I mean, like what's going on now with SNAP benefits. Something like 42 million people are going to lose their SNAP benefits this weekend. And that's going to include children, elderly people, who are very dependent on that just for food to live. And they're all being used like pawns right now. And I think the Republicans are using that as leverage against the Democrats.
This is not an America. It's like what has happened to the countries we love. When I grew up, Israel was a liberal country. Men and women were equal. Yeah. Now Israel is ranked 88 in terms of women's rights. 88. It has dropped to 88 and 92 when it comes to legal representation. Out of something like 212 nations or something, Israel ranks 88 in terms of women's human rights. It has slipped into the trash. Mm-hmm. It's just falling the way of religious extremism and evangelical Christianity. It's turning into an evangelical Christian country too, because all the money is coming from the they want to buy Israel and turn it into an evangelical Christian country.
And of course, that's what they're trying to do here.
Not what it was.
Project 2025 is basically make this a Christian nationalist country.
And that's what they're trying to do to Israel. It's really sad to see it. Yeah. All right, let's check and see whether or not this budget is going to pass, Chuck.
Is the budget going to pass by Friday? Ooh. Well, first of all, it's very, very up in the air right now. That's why I think I'm getting a muddled answer here. But I didn't throw cards. I just went to the pendulum, and I'm getting a maybe that's really leaning more to no than yes. But it's in the maybe, but it's like real wishy-washy. I'm not getting the feeling it's likely, but it's not impossible. I didn't pull cards on it.
Yeah, I get the impression that it's going to have to pass. It'll pass when the Republicans concede on what they're trying to do. Because here's the bill: Archangel Gabriel is associated with the Pentacles, which is the things of the earth and money and the bill. And here is the negotiating. It's in the house of obstacles, hopes and fears to be victorious. 6 of Cups is emissaries of peace. So they're going to have to make a deal with the Democrats. But the Democrats should not have to be fighting for something as basic as to
they shouldn't have to be.
Keep our citizens from starving.
Basically, the Democrats are just fighting for decency. Let's save people's health care, and let's not put people into thousands of dollars of debt to have their health care. I just had 3 cards while you were talking, and I realize this is very obvious, and you've pretty much have explained it, but I'm always interested when I see what drops out of the deck. Competition, 2 sides, tug of war. Duh. We know what that means.
Yeah.
And it's very much about survival here. And then I did get the victory card. So I agree from this victory card, there is eventually going to be something. But I like the fact that you're getting it's going to be the Republicans are going to have to make concessions to the Democrats.
Yeah.
I like that very much. But how soon do you think it's going to be? Because I know with the tarot, this week. This week you are getting that, because I was just getting like that. Maybe it was very kind of murky.
Do you want to be reelected? I mean, that's the bottom line.
Well, yeah.
Because if the Republicans can't get their act together, it's going to be a bloodbath on November 2026.
Well, sure. That's why they're doing all this gerrymandering right now, redrawing district lines. They know they don't have a chance of being reelected unless they just flat out cheat.
Yes, there were plantations and stuff, but the average American didn't benefit. I don't think the average American benefited from slavery. I think the rich benefited from slavery.
Probably.
Most Americans were poor sharecroppers. They had to grow their own crop, you know? I mean,
Yeah.
it only benefited. The great irony is it didn't benefit many people.
I know. You know, it's just, you know, we've been hearing for years that there's going to be this great divide where there's going to be no middle class anymore. Either you're very rich
I
or
think
you're
it's already
poor.
there.
Well, it just seems like they're really trying to accelerate this right now, taking away food benefits, making it almost impossible to have health insurance because it's going to be so prohibitively expensive. This is going to be like a sledgehammer to so many people who are not going to be able to handle this at all. They're not going to be able to survive this.
Deanne Pryor 9 asked, will Trump's Secret Service admit Trump wasn't shot? Oh, I think he was shot. So I don't.
Well, that's interesting, Whimsy, because I was one of those people who thought he had staged that assassination, but you were really certain he was shot.
Yeah, I mean the ear is very vascular. You know, it's also very
there's
thin.
no scar tissue of any kind, no indication.
In the back, well, probably there wouldn't be that big. It wouldn't be that big of a deal. It was a little nick. It was, but boy, a lot of blood can come off if you nick your ear.
Well, the reason
it heals very quickly because it is so vascular.
Yeah, one of the reasons I thought it was fake, you know, I know just from acting and, you know, having a little bit of training and stunt work, you know, you can take a little capsule with stage blood and like slap it against your ear. And that's what I thought he had done.
Yeah, no, that's not what happened. Thank you, Brenda. That's very kind of you. I definitely am working at it.
Yes, you are. Do you see the shutdown lasting much longer? I'm on a shutdown since October 8th. Yeah, aren't we into like the 24th day of this or something?
Let's take a look at the shutdown. I think it should end soon.
Will shutdown last much longer?
How long can they continue to protect Trump from his crimes? Like I said, it's because the FBI is implicated, and that's why the FBI is helping to cover it up.
That was quite a revelation you made on your show. Didn't you reveal that on the Sunday show you did? Sunday brunch?
Yeah, I mean, the sweetheart deal, that was the FBI. So who has the tapes? Who has everything that got taken during the raid? There was a raid on Epstein's home. So, you know, who ended up taking everything? The FBI took it. So who knew who Epstein was in 2005? It's so gaslighting and it's so condescending to say to the survivors, well, the FBI will get around to talking to you. And then the FBI shows up and really, you're not saying really? Trump rapes him? My God, we had no idea. Or wow, people were molested on the islands. We had no idea. Talk about the ultimate gaslighting. The FBI knew everything that was happening and was 100% okay with it as long as they were being fed information. And that's why Epstein was given a sweetheart deal along with 100 of his perv friends, because the FBI gave that deal.
Yeah.
And Acosta. And so, you know, there comes a point when our intelligence agencies have to take responsibility for their part in that. Well, let's see how long the shutdown takes.
Yeah, it was like I was mentioning the other day about J. Edgar Hoover. There's been all kinds of corruption in the FBI going back decades. But I'm so sorry. So we are asking
how long the government shutdown will go on for.
Okay. I don't know if I can determine a time frame, but let's see. Well, there's one card here I like. My cards tend to show more the circumstances, but Pendulum, will the shutdown last much longer? What I'm getting with Pendulum is maybe, but it's very close to the no. It's not a firm no, but it's close to the no, like we're getting there. It could be happening soon, but I had cards again. This fell out of the deck again. Competition, no crap there, right? It's about loss. There's obviously a shadow. There's shame, and when I get the family card, I take family to mean just everybody banding together to cover their own asses, so to speak, because they're fighting for their survival now. But the card that I really liked that I stopped at was truth. The truth is going to come out. The Epstein files are going to be released. This is going to come to an end soon. I take that from the truth card. What do you think?
Same thing. You guys, you and I are in simpatico. Here is the money, right? It came again in the 7th house. So yes, this is passing the budget. Here is the Congresswoman getting taken in. So the bill.
You mean the woman from Arizona?
The House reopens, and she is going to be taken in to the House. Hopes and fears the partnership. So what happens is that Mike says, okay, we'll bring everybody back, and we'll bring her in, and we'll get the House sorted out, and we'll start running business. But we will do another song and dance to delay the release of the Epstein file. So this is the latest incarnation you can expect based on these reports. So he'll bring everyone back, he'll bring her in, but he will do a song and dance of delays because the final outcome is the Knight of Swords. It will be smashing its way into, it cannot be stopped, which goes back to what you said.
Yeah, exactly. And I think also there are just too many people around the world who have their own copies they've been sitting on for whatever reasons. Didn't we theorize Elon Musk probably has his own copy of the Epstein files? Who knows else? Mike Johnson. I'm sure Mike Johnson knows what's in there.
Yeah.
He's scared. He's running very scared.
Yeah. Russia sent Wagner fighters to Venezuela to fight U.S. military war between Moscow and Washington. What are you thinking about this recent rift that we're starting to see between Putin and Trump? And do you think Putin just doesn't care anymore?
Putin just has his own priorities right now. But the thing with the fighters to Venezuela, it's being done under the cover that this is supposed to be curtailing drug smuggling, that type of thing out of Venezuela. But I saw something today that Trump actually wants to take control of the government, or he wants a regime change of some kind in Venezuela, and that's what this is more about. And then there's also the controversy because these are actions that normally you'd have to have Congress approve. And again, here's Trump just doing any damn thing he wants, like tearing down the White House or striking Venezuela. He's acting like a dictator.
Yeah. Dr. Whimsy, please talk about your remote viewing class that's coming up soon. Yeah. Thanks for asking. It's for members at the Elders and Empaths level. It's a 10-week course. We teach here the basics on how to do what I do. And the reason I wanted to isn't just because I'm proud of myself, but it's because after October 7th, I desperately wanted this horror to end. You know, the horror between the fighting between Israelis and the people of Gaza and Palestinians. And so I used remote viewing in order to create a grid. And so as I went above my body in the remote, I saw the outskirts of Gaza. And then I saw that we could create controlled peace zones, and that those peace zones would be places where anybody could come and live on the border, whether it was Israelis on the border or Palestinians in this land that wasn't being used anywhere. With the permission of the Israelis, do you mind if we use this land? And so you can see all those homes, all those dots are communities that were, Mila, don't do that. My cat's playing. She's like smacking things.
Sasha does that sometimes when we're on the air.
Yeah, so each of the...
She's here sleeping right now.
Right, so each of those dots is a community that was raided and attacked. People were raped, murdered, and killed. Every single dot you see on the Israeli side. And in front of that, the white line is no man's land. That is where the wall is. And then it goes for about 2 miles in where there's just nothing. You can't plant, you can't do anything because you have to protect yourself from Hamas, these terrorists that are funded by Qatar and Iran. So Now that Israel has control of the area up to this yellow line here, we can start, and you look to the right, that's my map. This is what I saw in the vision. And so far they're following the vision. I sent everything in December of 2023. So this is an example of how I was able to use my skills as a remote viewer to come up with a solution. I used computers. I did research on geomapping, but this was how the vision started. Yeah. So that's an example of how you can use remote viewing. So it's 5 p.m. Sunday, and a lot of people drop out. They get impatient. They want to be professional remote viewers after one class, and it doesn't work. I took learning how to
never works that way. I can be impatient myself, but I know better than that. But no, it's fascinating. I may take the class this time. Whimsy, you've seen what I do when I channel people. Like last week, and I read the message from Jacqueline Kennedy. Would you consider that in the family? Doing?
That's
I never know what to call it.
That's heart-centered. What you're doing is heart-centered channeling.
Yeah,
it looks like it's just classic Vajrayana Buddhism, where you're sending love. It's like a clarion call with love from your heart to the higher soul of the other person, and then they're taught, and then all this information starts coming. That's just you and them bouncing off information in the state of you're a heart-centered remote viewer, very much so.
Okay,
but
I always
there's other things you can do. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I always come from a place of love, and I come from sincerity, and I always ask for permission. Like if I'm going to read a statement to potentially thousands of people, I tell them and ask for permission. I never exploit them. Never intentionally anyway. And I think that's one of the reasons they come to me. And that's probably even true with what you do with your heart-centered remote viewing, because you talk about it being about having complete empathy, no matter who it is, even if it's Donald Trump or Putin, you approach it from a place of love and empathy for them.
Yeah, I mean, I felt the last couple days as couple weeks as Donald Trump, that I need I need feminine. I need the nice, soft, warm breast and the nice, warm, yummy stuff that women give. And so I'm, Melania, take care of me. I'm vulnerable. And so I'm trying to get her to hold my hand. And I'm feeling like I like a little kid who wants mommy. That's how and she's like, oh God, I will hold his hand. I will take the senior who doesn't know his name across the street.
As long as he keeps me on the payroll.
Right. She is taking on the burden of dealing with this person who is having some kind of mental collapse and is leaning heavily on feminine comfort to get through it.
Sure.
That's what it looks like.
Sure. Well, many of us have theorized he's just a deeply, deeply wounded child. He certainly did not get love from his mother or his father.
Yeah.
Mary Trump has borne that out many times.
Is the Trump Venezuela invasion talk a distraction or actually happening? I think it's actually happening.
Yeah, it appears to be actually happening. And I think they can even prove this with satellite imaging. But it also could be a distraction as well. Kind of serves more than one purpose. Did anyone... Oh, I'm sorry. I was going to read Joel Tilson's question here. Did anyone see Trump walk in circles in Japan today? I didn't see that. I only read about it, that he was speaking and he was just rambling and going all over the place and not making any sense. But I didn't see that. Did you, Whimsy?
I haven't, but I wouldn't mind seeing it. I mean, what do you think?
We could look it up.
Do you think he's really lost his mind?
Oh, yeah. I think he lost his mind a long time ago. But it's definite. But in all seriousness, it's pretty clear right now that some things are very, very wrong. But I wish you could pull that up. I'd love to see that myself right now.
Yeah, I'll try and get under 4 minutes, like if we can.
If we can.
Yeah, I'm seeing this. Hold on. Let's it's Is the prime minister a female? Is that what's going on?
Yes, their first ever female prime minister.
Well, that's fantastic.
It is. Oh.
He doesn't know where his so he didn't know. He walked in front of he walked out the door. He started leaving, and then he walked.
My God.
And then he thought he needed to address the band. He didn't know he was supposed to address the troops. First, he began walking out the door instead of addressing the troops. Then she turned him around and he walked towards the musicians and thought he was supposed to be observing the musicians. So that's,
oh my God.
God, that is just really crazy.
You know, he's probably extremely jet lagged on top of everything else, and being in frail health and 79 years old, that just makes the problems even more compounded.
Wow.
That's embarrassing to watch.
Yeah. Okay, it looks like we're going to go ahead and finish up. Chuck, did you have anything you wanted to add before we close today?
Oh, let's see.
Have fun today?
I had fun. I always have fun with you and everybody out there. I really appreciate you all. No, the same message as usual. If you want to reach me for a reading, which I love to do for you individually, it's always my honor.
He's a good reader.
Thank you, Whimsy. It's just
Doesn't
my name.
always tell me what I want to hear, but he's a very good reader.
It's Dransfield. I'm sorry. No, you talk, Whimsy.
Oh, just that guy I had a crush on, and you told me it was never going to happen.
Oh, what did happen? I don't remember. No. And what did I tell you?
The actor I had a crush on like 10 years ago, and you said it's never going to happen, and you're right, it never happened.
Sorry.
You just kept saying, I'm sorry, it's not in the cards, and it wasn't.
I'm just the bearer of the message. I'm sorry. I wish that could have happened for you. I really do. I really do. But anyway, it's my name, Chuck Dransfield, just Dransfield Chuck, one word, at gmail.com. That's how you could reach me. And I also take commissions to do original artwork, and oftentimes I get messages from the subjects that I can convey to you along with the artwork. I even did a wonderful lady's cat portrait recently, and I even had a message from the cat for her. Her beloved cat had just passed away, and I know what that's like. We all know that when we've lost.
I don't want to even think about it.
It's like losing a family member. But anyway, it's always my honor. It's my privilege to do this for you. And of course, I have my channel, Chuck's Captivating Chronicles, a very little live stream on Mondays, Chuck's Captivating Chat, where we typically talk about old Hollywood entertainment stories and that type of thing. So anyway, Whimsy, what would you like to say?
There's a lot going on with Chuck. Chuck is a brilliant artist and a wonderful person and a great counselor. He's also a licensed physician's assistant in the state of California. And so he is able to give general wellness coaching as well. You don't talk a lot about that. You work so hard to do that, and just kind of forget.
Well, I do that too. I'm all over the place.
All right. And if you'd like to get an appointment with me, you can, with Dr. Whimsy, you can find all that information below this video. I think that's all we have for you. Be kind to all so that all will be kind to you too. God bless. Peace out. And we will see you next time.
See you next time.
Bye, everyone. We love you so much. Thank you.
Love you too. Bye.
Bye. Bye, everyone. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.
Please.